What's poppin', guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Minecraft 1.18 survival series. We've got a big problem. Look at my armor. This is not good. I'm basically wearing a tin can. It is way past time for us to get a good set of diamond gear, so I think we should go down for a big mining trip and do just that. So much like episode 1, this one is going to be kind of another all over the place kind of episode. In our first episode, we really needed to get our first foundations in the world, get some basic tools and resources and all that. So here's my agenda. I want to get myself a whole bunch of diamond gear. I want to get an enchanting setup going. I want to expand our crop farming operation a little bit. And I also want to get a good early game source of bone meal. I'm thinking about a moss farm, but we'll see how that pans out later in the episode. Alrighty, we are down in the mines, and admittedly I found this while playing off camera a couple days ago. I wanted to wait to actually break it because it is our first diamond ore of the series, and as you can see I also found a spider spawner down here. I also found a little bit of dripstone. I'm really excited because dripstone is definitely something I'm going to be working with in the upcoming videos, and it is great to finally have a good source of it. With all that out of the way, let's go do some diamond mining. Yoink. Aha! I did see something down there. It was at this point that everything started going wrong. Oh god, there's 2 of them. Ooh, okay, there's a whole lot. Alright, you guys go fight yourselves. A whole bunch of mobs getting in my face over here. I think we are just oh no, there's 2 more, never mind. Hi. I think we are slowly but surely making a dent, though I'm not gonna go near those endermen. I really don't want to do. Look at all the arrows. All right, if you guys could like fight yourselves, that would be great. Oh my god. Come on, come on, do your thing. There we go. Oh my, I'm getting swarmed out here. Okay, retreat, back up, retreat, regroup, rethink things a little bit. My axe is also almost gone. I probably should have brought a better weapon with me. This is not going too well, folks. I'm dying out here. This cave is massive and I love it, but holy crap, the mobs need to chill, please. Okay, all right, folks. Oh, we got a new sword. We got another sword. Oh my god, I completely forgot I made a spare sword. Oh, let's go. I just need to run for a minute. Okay, spare sword. We're living. We're alive. We're fine. These potatoes are keeping me alive, and I don't know how to feel about it. When I said I was gonna go caving, I didn't think I was just gonna be fighting off the hordes of the undead for like 30 hours. Alright, that's you taken care of. You, with the enchanted bow, need to get out of my life. Ooh, he dropped it. That's pretty cool. Power 2, not terrible. Wow, there is actually just like an endless dark abyss over here. It is kind of insane. Yep, there are too many mobs and it is too dark down here. We ended up with half a dozen diamonds. We're gonna come back for more, back to the base, grab some more torches, and we will be back here in just a moment. To absolutely nobody's surprise, I was criminally underprepared for a mining trip, but we will be back down there in no time at all. Fish. And we're back. I think it is now just about the right time to start a little bit of a strip mine. For this, I will be mining at Y-52. Not entirely sure how it's gonna go, but we shall see what happens. Alrighty guys, with our first couple rounds of mining yielding us a whole 6 diamonds and a complete lack of iron pickaxes, I think we're just gonna work with what we have for now. As you saw down there, things were pretty scary and there were not very many diamonds. With the first 3, I was thinking we would craft a diamond pickaxe. Use that pickaxe to get obsidian, of course. Ooh, wow. That guy does damage. I don't think I can fight him right about now. Ooh, oh my god, one more hit and I am toast. No! Ah, that was my first death of the world. And I had a whole bunch of levels. That is incredibly unfortunate. I was trying to put up my shield and eat at the same time, and clearly you cannot do both. Alrighty guys, I was wondering when it would happen. If this was a hardcore series, we would have had a game over right about now. But thankfully all we gotta do is go run over and grab our stuff and try not to die again in the process. I can just get a weapon here, take care of this guy real quick. And there we go, no trident from him, unfortunately. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by my own mortality, we can go ahead and make our very first enchanting table of the world. That is going to be great at preventing situations like that from happening in the future. Oh yeah, I added a little bit of exterior decoration to the house in between recordings. I wanted to take advantage of this back patio area like I said last time and add in sort of like a wood cutting station, like a little mini sawmill. So I keep all of my wood materials over here, and I've got a few different logs for decoration, and using the classic minecart rail design like this just to make it look like they're strapped down to the ground. And over here, I've got a bit of like a smelting and a metalworking setup, right? So I've got like all my copper over here. I've got my anvil, which I haven't actually used yet. I've got some spare copper blocks. I've got some armor. And of course, I've got all of my furnaces around my little fire pit over here. I think this little area came out pretty well, and I'm very excited to add more little like modules like this around the original house. I'm definitely going to do something with bone meal farms, the crop farms, the animal farms, but that will all be coming in future episodes. Oh, and if you were wondering what I was going to be doing with my last 2 diamonds, the one from the mining trip and the one from that shipwreck a while back, oh yeah, baby. This is where it's at, folks. That might have just been a spectacular waste of diamonds, but oh well. We now have a full set of diamond armor and quite a few different diamond tools, so we can go ahead and cross that right off of our list. However, we gotta do something about this. I crafted up all the bookshelves we're gonna need for a full enchanting setup, but this is not gonna do. This dinky little enchanting table and chest is definitely not gonna cut it, and I really don't want to put down these bookshelves until we've got a more permanent place for our enchanting setup. I'm thinking about putting together an enchanting tower over here on this side of the base. I'm thinking sort of like a mix between like a fantasy wizard tower and something that fits more in line with our like old school Minecraft style of our starter base over here. Why don't we hop right into a time lapse and get this enchanting tower constructed, and then we can start improving our gear. Let's get it, boys. Alrighty guys, what did you think? I think this turned out pretty well. I know I didn't get all of the little details in the time lapse, but that is really just because these small little details like the foliage and the lanterns and everything are really hard to capture within the replay mod, so generally I just cut to have these kinds of things being finished. The main goal with this project was not only to have a place to put my enchanting table, and we'll take a look at the interior in a moment, but I also wanted to have a build that complemented the original starter base really well. So as you guys can see, right, I wanted to have something that was like a wizard tower, where it's tall and circular and gives off that kind of fantasy vibe, but at the same time, I wanted to use the existing block palette that I already established in my starter base. We've got the dark oak logs and the composters for these main support pillars, and the entire bottom section is covered in mainly foliage and stone and other gray blocks, just like how we have over there. On the other hand though, rather than getting larger in the midsection like a typical fantasy roof, and if we hop on up over here we can take a better look at the spruce roof right here, and it gets thinner and goes up, and we've got this cool pattern with the oak planks and the stripped oak logs, and then finally it widens out yet again, and it's going to be hard to take a look at this from my point of view, but hopefully the replay mod can provide this for you. You can see that it widens out at the top and then it expands even further into like a roof with the same old birch and deep slate pattern that we're using in our starter base right next door. why don't we go ahead and take a look at the interior? For this one, I really wanted to go all out with the fantasy vibe and have the bookshelves like suspended from the upper walls of the enchanting tower itself. I've made quite a bit more than 15 bookshelves, and I might be missing a few cows, but don't worry about it. Now, of course, these bookshelves on the top 2 layers don't actually provide any EXP levels to the enchanting table, but that's okay. So now the question is, what enchantments am I going to get on my full set of diamond armor and a mostly complete set of diamond tools? I have 33 levels, which means that we're going to be able to make 2 full strength enchantments. Then I got to go off for a little bit more grinding, then maybe we can get the rest of these things enchanted, or we might settle for a lower enchantment. We'll just have to see what we get. I think I'm going to go with Unbreaking 3 on the pickaxe and just hope and pray that we get something in addition to Unbreaking 3. Why did I just get Unbreaking 3? That is so bad. I wonder what it is on the pickaxe now. Ooh, it's Silk Touch on the pickaxe too. Okay, hold on a minute, folks. I've got an idea. If you remember, I do have one additional diamond pickaxe that I made much earlier. Admittedly, doesn't have all of its durability, so I wasn't really considering it for this enchantment session. But if we can get Silk Touch on it, I could combine it with the other pickaxe, and we might actually have a pickaxe that, like, you know, is decent. All right, here goes nothing, folks. Silk Touch Efficiency 3, not bad. Alright, what I think I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna put some low-level enchantments on my iron tools for the time being. I'm gonna go grind some more EXP, and we will be back in just a moment to get the rest of those enchantments taken care of. Oh, and if you're watching this and you're like sitting there screaming at your computer, just go get villagers. We're gonna go get villagers at a certain point in the future, but for the time being, you know, I really wanted to do some enchanting the old-fashioned way. You, sir, are not a cow. If you were wondering how I've been getting all the experience that I use for all this enchanting, well, first of all, I've been doing a lot of mining. But second of all, do you remember that zombie spawner that was right over here in this corner? Well, I went and I converted it into an easy, basic EXP farm. I did do some pretty cool decorations, so we can go ahead and check that out. Bam! You can see I've been using some of the copper blocks that I've been hoarding in addition to a whole ton of dripstone, andesite, and stone, and I've turned this big chamber into a sort of like underground, rusted out, old, metallic-y, steampunky kind of zombie farm. Now, if we go back up and look at where the zombies come from, it is a very simple setup that I've got over here. You can see that, oh, the zombies just spawn in here in total darkness. They are pushed to one side by the water and then kind of funneled into a 1x2 space over there, where they then fall down a long tube. They fall all the way down inside this tube and land on a piece of dripstone, which is actually right in there. Normally, before dripstone was added to the game, you would have to make the zombies fall over 20 blocks just so they'd be at a low enough heart level where you could one-hit kill them with a sword, but now with dripstone, they only need to fall, I mean, I don't actually know how many blocks this is, but it's certainly less than 20, which is pretty great. And yeah, looking around here, I mean, I know it's not a very big space, but you can see I've really decked it out with copper and dripstone and granite, and I think the orange and the rustic, earthy hues of all these different blocks blend in really nicely with the blank gray of the stone and the andesite, and over here is just where I've been storing all of the zombie drops. So yeah, really nothing crazy. All I do is that I climb up here, I AFK for maybe like 5 minutes or so, wait for all them zombies to pile up, and then I run on over down here, swing my sword at them a few times, and the EXP starts rolling in. Definitely not a permanent source of EXP because it's not particularly fast, but it is good for the early game and it is going to get me the levels I need in conjunction with mining to finish off all the enchanting on the rest of that diamond gear. Okay, many levels of enchanting and many hours of grinding out resources later, we finally have most of a fully enchanted set of diamond armor and diamond tools. Let's take a quick look at what I got and then we're off to our next project. You already saw my sort of combined pick of Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 3, and Silk Touch. We also got a full durability pick of Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 4. If only I could get Fortune on this pick, then I would be a very happy man, but I think that will have to come a little bit later. Our shovels got regular old Efficiency 4 on it. Our boots have Blast Protection 4. Our leggings have Protection 3, Unbreaking 3. Our chest plate has Protection 4. And our helmet has Fire Protection 3, Unbreaking 3, and Aqua Affinity. We'll get the rest of the stuff enchanted eventually. We'll get some better enchantments, most likely when we get villagers. I'm mainly looking out for mending and fortune enchantments, as you can imagine. But I think with all that said and done, let's move on to our next project. If you take a look at the landscape around me, it's just one unending birch forest surrounding our house, our enchanting tower, and of course our little starter farms off to the side. I want to go all out with these crop farms and have fields and fields of land for animals and for plants surrounding our house, making it look beautiful and really just increasing the footprint of our territory as well. There are some crops like melons and pumpkins that I am definitely going to be making farms for later once we get villagers on our hands, but other things like carrots, potatoes, sheep and cows, stuff like that, I really want to take the time and make a really beautiful aesthetic farming landscape around our little starter base here. And this will also have the double duty of vastly increasing our bone meal output. I know I said I was going to make a moss farm later in this episode, but it's looking like we're not going to have time to get to that today, mainly because I realized that any sort of bone meal farm, whether it would be bamboo or sugarcane or kelp or moss or whatever, all of that requires observers, and we haven't even been to the nether yet. So I think we are going to be putting that off onto episode 3, but don't worry because I've got some big plans for when we finally reach the nether. Let's get into our main time lapse for today, the terraforming and beautification of all this surrounding birch forest around our starter base. Man, what a grind that was. But it was totally worth it. I mean, just look at how much we've expanded the area around our starter base. What used to be this tiny little starter base right here now has an enchanting tower in the back, has a little bit of a pumpkin and melon farm that I put together last minute over in the brush and the foliage over there, got a huge wheat farm over there, got a potato and carrot farms of roughly the same size, and a couple little animal pens for my sheep and my cows. They now have a lot more space to play with. Oh yeah, and of course we can't forget about this little well design that I put together over here. It's a cute little mostly aesthetic well because I'm certainly not going down there to get water, and I'm going with a mostly rustic design with the wooden stone style that kind of matches our starter base, and the little like chain wrapped around the grindstones here where you're meant to pull on this one pulley here to pull the cauldron of water up and down to get water out of the well. It's supposed to, you know, kind of mimic a little bit of functionality, but of course we're not going to be using it for water. I'll get water from other places. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I use my classic rustic stone wall design that you've probably seen in quite a few of my builds by this point. Not only does it match decently well with the stone walls that we've put together in our buildings thus far, but it's a great way to mark out more natural shapes for these different farms. I wanted to have these different farms at different height levels, and you can see that really well here, just to have a little bit more depth and variation, and the stone walls do a really great job of separating them in a way that looks natural and is able to be constructed in a more organic and less geometric pattern. I wanted to work with the natural contours of the land and have the wheat farm down by a couple blocks, and of course have the carrot and potato farms raised up just a little bit over here. Getting a bit of a bird's eye view with the replay mod, one last time this episode you can really see how much we have expanded our footprint into this birch forest. I said that I wanted to have a lot of things outside the base, and you can see that starting to come to fruition with our enchanting tower, all of our different farms for plants and animals, our well, and of course many more farms to come in the near future. Such as the moss farm, which as I said before we are unfortunately not getting to today, but we will be tackling that in the beginning of our next episode, as well as going into the nether for the first time. Oh yeah, and taking a quick look over at this melon and pumpkin farm, I wanted to have something a little bit more organic and messy than even the rest of the crop farms over here. I think this little random scattering of melons and pumpkins and other different like moss and other earthy textures across the side of the farm here is going to provide more than enough melons and pumpkins for whatever I could use these big boys for. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do with these things yet, but I'll find something to do with them. As we look out over the horizon and at our new enchanting tower, I think it is just about time to wrap up this episode for today. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like down below, and if you're not subscribed, consider doing that as well. It really helps out the channel and is the best way to show your support. Until next time, gamers, this has been Leon, and I will see you all in the next 1.18 survival video. Take care, my dudes.